I am 29 male, never thought I'd be the guy to expose my own brother's lies and get him cut off from the entire family. But here we are. What's worse? He did it to himself. I just gave him the rope, and he eagerly hung himself with it. To set the stage, my fiancée and I had been together for 4 years, engaged for one. She's the love of my life, the kind of woman who lights up a room with just her presence. She's kind, funny, and loyal to a fault. And apparently, she was just too good for my brother to handle. My brother had always been the golden child growing up. He coasted through life, always managing to weasel his way out of responsibility while somehow making himself look like the victim whenever things went south. He had a knack for twisting reality to fit his narrative, and for years, our parents enabled it. Me, I was the quiet one. I worked hard, kept my head down, and built a stable life. I had a good job, a beautiful fiancée, and plans for a future that didn't involve petty family drama. But of course, my brother couldn't stand that. It started small, little comments here and there. My brother would say things like, "You sure you're the only guy she's seeing? She's a little too friendly, don't you think?" At first, I brushed it off. My fiancée is naturally warm and outgoing. She treats everyone with kindness, something my brother clearly wasn't used to. But then, the comments became more direct. One night, while we were all at a family gathering, my brother pulled me aside and said in a hushed voice, "Look, man, I don't want to be the one to tell you this, but your girl has been all over me. She flirts with me when you're not around. It's honestly making me uncomfortable." I stared at him, completely dumbfounded. My fiancé, flirting with him? The same guy who once lied about getting into an Ivy League school just to impress a girl? The same guy who constantly made everything about himself? I didn't believe him for a second, but he saw my skepticism and doubled down. "I wouldn't lie to you, bro. I'm telling you I was going to keep quiet, but I can't. She's playing you." I asked for specifics. He got defensive. I asked if he had proof. He scoffed and said, "Oh, so now I have to record her just to prove I'm not crazy." That's when I knew. He was full of it. But instead of arguing, I played along. I told him I needed time to process everything. He looked so damn smug, thinking he had planted a seed of doubt in my mind. What he didn't realize was that he had just declared war. And I don't lose. I spent the next week setting up my plan. If my brother wanted to spin lies, I'd give him just enough rope to hang himself. First, I told my fiancée everything. She was pissed, not just at the accusation, but at the sheer entitlement of it all. But she agreed to help me prove him wrong. Next, I set up cameras. Not the creepy, invasive kind, just a couple of security cameras in my apartment's common areas. I made sure my brother would be coming over when I wasn't home and let my fiancée handle the rest. Then, I baited him. I told him I was starting to have doubts, that maybe he was right, that I needed more proof, but I just couldn't bring myself to confront her yet. He ate it up, acting like he was just trying to help me see the truth. And then he did exactly what I expected. A few nights later, my brother came over when I was at work. My fiancée let him in, pretending to be completely unaware of his lies. She was polite but distant, just enough to see how far he'd take it. And oh boy, did he take it far. The security cameras caught everything. He tried to get her to say anything he could twist into flirting. Compliments, jokes, even casual conversation. He kept steering it towards something incriminating. But when that didn't work, he got desperate. He outright propositioned her. "Come on, you don't have to pretend. I know you like the attention. Why else would you always be so nice to me?" She shut him down immediately, told him she loved me, that he was out of line, and that he needed to leave. And the absolute best part? After she kicked him out, he immediately texted me, saying she had been all over him and that I needed to open my eyes. I almost laughed at how pathetic it was. I didn't respond to his text. Instead, I sent a group message to everyone in our family. "Family meeting at my place. Be there." When they arrived, I wasted no time. I played the security footage on the TV. Every single second of it. My brother's face went from smug to pale in an instant. My parents were horrified. My mother, who had always defended him, looked like she wanted to sink into the floor. My father, who had spent years making excuses for his behavior, finally had nothing to say. And my brother? He panicked. It's not what it looks like, he shouted. She set me up. She was leading me on, and when she realized she was caught, she twisted it. No one bought it. I turned to my parents. He has lied his way through life, and you've let him. But this is the end. I'm done. And if any of you still defend him after this, then I'm done with you too. Silence. Then my father stood up, and for the first time in my life, actually held my brother accountable. Get out, he said. You're not welcome here anymore. My mother tried to protest, but my father shut her down. My brother stormed out, screaming that we would regret this, and that we were ruining his life. But the truth was, he ruined his own life. We just stopped cleaning up his messes. Since then, my brother has been cut off from the entire family. My parents, ashamed and humiliated, have been trying to make amends with me and my fiancée. My mother struggles with the reality of her golden boy being a liar and a manipulator, but she knows she can't defend him anymore. As for me, I'm marrying the woman of my dreams, and my brother, well, he gets to live with the consequences of his own entitlement. And honestly, it's glorious. If you enjoyed watching a narcissist self-destruct, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Who knows? There might be more family drama coming soon.